Sub to PewDiePie, 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 hey, sub to PewDiePie, sub to PewDiePie, sub to PewDiePie, ooh, sub to PewDiePie, 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 hey, sub to PewDiePie, sub to PewDiePie, sub to PewDiePie, Sub to PewDiePie. Sub to PewDiePie. Sub to PewDiePie. Okay. Sub to PewDiePie. 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 Why do I keep saying that? PewDiePie. What is PewDiePie? Sub to PewDiePie. 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 I look fast. Sub to PewDiePie. 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 Sub to PewDiePie, cause T-Series sucks. Sub to PewDiePie. 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 I keep saying sub to PewDiePie. 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 Ooh, sub to PewDiePie. 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 Sub PewDiePie. Sub to 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 PewDiePie. Cause T-Series sucks. Sub to PewDiePie. 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 Sub to PewDiePie, 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 PewDiePie. Sub to PewDiePie, 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 cause T-Series sucks. Sub to PewDiePie, sub to PewDiePie, sub to PewDiePie, cause T-Series sucks. Sub to PewDiePie, 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 sub to PewDiePie. Sub to PewDiePie, 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 cause T-Series sucks. I said that like 4 times already. Sub to PewDiePie, 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 sub to PewDiePie now, sub to PewDiePie, 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 sub to PewDiePie. Sub to PewDiePie, 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 sub to PewDiePie. Sub to PewDiePie, 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 sub to PewDiePie. We're almost done. Sub to PewDiePie, sub to PewDiePie. Yeah, sub to PewDiePie. Now, sub to PewDiePie. Shut your mouth. Sub to PewDiePie. I don't care if my face cut out. Yeah. If I knock you out. Oh. Okay. Y'all sub to PewDiePie. Sub to PewDiePie. Now. Sub to PewDiePie. 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 Last one. Sub to PewDiePie. Good job. Thanks for watching.